My name is Winan Tsungu, the founder and the director of Nsobo Learning Academy. I would like to welcome you to our podcast, Mintiro Walabula at Nsobo Learning Academy. Nsobo Learning Academy is an institution which deals with trainings such as sign language training, facilitation, secretary, assess and moderation, coaching and mentoring, and early childhood development. In this institution, we are striving for the recognition of deaf people, fair and equal treatment, irrespective of their race, gender, or disability. Our main objective is to draw a numerous number of normal hearing people in South Africa to train in sign language so that they could be able to communicate efficiently and effectively with deaf people, that they could be able to engage in a short conversation with deaf people, to be able to communicate and socialize with them, to be able to offer assistance to deaf people. My name is Winan Tsungu. Welcome you to our podcast, Mintiro Walabula with Nsobo Learning Academy. Today on our podcast, we are hosting a legend. He's a legend indeed. This guest, he has seen it all. When I say he's a legend in a media space. I'm talking about a former SABC radio news reporter, a former SABC TV news reporter. Hey, like I said, this legend, he has seen it all. He actually, has eaten in his song. I'm saying to him, it's like he has eaten a guinea-fowl's leg. That's why I'm saying he has seen it all. I'm talking about the former spokesperson of Department of Transport in Limpopo. Who is this legend I'm talking about here? None other than Mike Maringa. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome Mr. Mike Maringa. I'm talking about the current spokesperson of Department of Basic Education in Limpopo. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you, Tsungu, and thanks to the viewers. I was told some time back that to be a legend, you must be older than 40 years old. I'm yet to reach 40. Maybe I'll qualify to be in that category as. Maybe I must not give away my age. People sometimes they don't respect you if you are below a certain bracket. So yeah, thank you.
No. Listen, I think they were wrong. The legend is measured by the amount of work which you've been doing, the contribution you have made to the society. So that's why on this podcast we are calling you the legend, where particularly in a media space, those are your specialists.
I think Mintiro Walabula and Nsobo Learning Academy must now come into that space and change the narrative so that we can have legends at a very early age. Then I will take the title.
We are already there. We have given you the title already. Now, Mike, you look very young and energetic, ready to go, man. You're not growing up, huh?
Yeah,
I've got a couple of years not seeing you. I thought, by now, I'll be seeing this stout guy, and because, the position which you are occupying, believe me, it's fundamental, eh?
Yeah, no, it's a combination of two things.
Okay.
It's stress, that's number one. Number two, it's exercising. You see, if you concoct the two, you'll never grow old. But when I get tired, I exercise. I run.
Really?
I'm a regular runner. I do marathons. I've attempted Comrade once. I got injured along the way. So yeah. After about 60 kilometers, I got injured. Then
Listen to this. Easy now. I forgot to tell you something, and now he's unpacking it. He's not just a legend, He's also a jack of all trade, master of everything. Mike, please tell us, where were you born, and how was life in growing up?
I was born in a very active village. People will usually refer to their villages as remote, and my village, because it was in the proximity of the town Yagiani, it's called Siandani. I was born and bred there. It was tough during our early days.
Oh, by the way, you're my homeboy. We're all coming from Siandani village.
Same street for that.
It's not. Yeah, for that information.
Yeah.
Actually, let's clarify this. Because when you say, in kind of like, a remote area, village and stuff like that, let's not forget to proclaim to them that we have got an airport, by the way.
Yeah, no, we've got the runway there. As to whether it's still busy,
yeah,
it's a discussion for another day. But it is there in the former homelands. That's where you used to have the great Nelson Mandela, who was there. The great Nelson Tung will be using it if it was still active. I'm not sure about that. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. So that's where I was born. Grew up just like any other boy, playing soccer. Unfortunately, my father was not a fan of livestock. We did not have cattle. There were no goats. So we did.
Was a soccer lover, eh?
Yeah.
Was a soccer lover. Who grew up, knowing that, putting a radio here, on his shoulder, listening to the games.
Yeah.
Chiefs and Pirates.
Yeah, no, we grew up under a family that we discuss soccer every day.
Yes.
That's where I drew the passion of what I'm doing today from, because other than the radio that was on his shoulder, there was also a newspaper that was coming home on a daily basis.
Okay.
And him and us as soccer fanatics, you know your normal newspaper.
Yes.
We're doing page from page 1.
No.
We're going to the last page.
Absolutely.
To see what's happening in the world of sports.
Yeah.
So that's what pushed some of us to say, this is interesting. If I am pushed to read this every day, why can't I be the one behind the writing so that other people can read my work as well? Yeah, but that's where I grew up. Attended primary school, that's Yandani Primary School. When we started, it was the only primary school in the whole village. Then in 1991, immediately after the release of Nelson Mandela, things started happening. We were now pushing towards the democratic dispensation.
I see.
Another school was built by the name of Fuyata.
Yes.
I think is the grandfather to our chief.
Yes, correct.
On the same street.
100%.
Then I had to move from Siandani. I did my standard 2.
Yeah.
Before we get to these things of grades,
correct,
it was still standard.
Yeah, standard. You are quite right.
Then
Yes.
I moved to Fiata Primary School. After standard 5, there was Famanda High.
Yes.
But my uncle Daniel Shungwan, I don't know if you say.
No, was a soccer player.
It was very.
Yeah.
He was against me going to the local
To
Famanda. He
Yes.
said, "You look bright. If you go there, all your friends are there."
But in the very same breath, guys, really, it seems as we are in for it, engakuri you are coming alright. Swi komba kahle ku ri engaku namuntlha vuswa lebyi hi nga ta byi dya i bya xibasa wa byi swakutela engaku ri hi ta twana nkombe wa kona kahle ku ri bya swekiwa. That tells you about the experience, the legacy which we are talking about. Okay.
Yeah. So he said to me, look, the same group that will be going to Famada is the guys that you were with from sub A up to standard 5. There, if I look at you are going to. I want you at a certain level. Then he wanted me to go to Guyana High School.
Okay.
And they said something happened there, and I want to share. He does not know. If he happened to watch the podcast,
Okay.
he'll hear something for the very first time.
All right.
Then he said, "No, I don't even want you at IK.
Yeah.
You must go to Guyana High. Go meet people that you don't
Different
know.
people altogether.
All together. You'll focus." Then he gave me money. I took 2 taxis. I went to Guyana High. When I got there,
The one from Siandani to town, from town to Guyana, yes.
when I got there, I was completely lost.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people.
See strange people.
Yeah, and they looked very smart than I was in a form of
attire-wise. Yeah.
They are dressing, and I was like, no, I don't fit in here. I can't be here.
I don't belong here.
I don't belong here.
Yeah.
So you know what I did? I did not even go to the admin block.
What did you do?
Just at the gate, I made the
You made a return.
360. I took a taxi. before he's going to skin me alive because
No,
I
he's
like
not going to skin you alive. You have made him in life. You have made him proud, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from there, there were no phones then. I rushed back to IK because a group of friends were there. Then I got to IK. A friend of mine was waiting. He took me to admin block. I did not even queue. That's where I enrolled.
Just to be straight.
Yes,
just skip the line.
Yeah, skip the line. That's when I enrolled for my standard 6 at IK.
Okay.
Yes, it was an agricultural high school.
Okay.
Then when I got home, I had to account. And I said, hey, Maluma,
you have to give a feedback.
Hey, Maluma, I had a problem. By the time I got there, there was no space anymore, and I couldn't wait. I had to go back quickly, right to IK.
Smart, eh?
And I've enrolled. They said, no, but IK is not bad. I went there, but if it's IK, it's better than the local school. Even there, you are going to meet different.
And believe me, the reason why I wanted you to be in those kind of schools, that guy was smart. He used to dress smart. He was kind of like our role model. You know, I played soccer as well.
Yeah.
That guy, even in the soccer field, you could see, he was smart. Everything, his attire, whatever he does, was a very smart guy.
He was very meticulous. His sense of dressing. You see, even before we knew about colognes at the time, he was at that level. He was always spot on. That was my uncle. So he remains my role model up to this day.
Good stuff. And tell me then, where did you further your studies? I understand that your primary, your secondary high school, you have studied there. You were actually basically in Guyana. So where did you further your studies?
Now, upon passing matric, I must also indicate that I was the first one, even though I had elder brothers and sisters, I was the first one to get a passage to go to the varsity.
Okay.
We'll talk about what were the reasons, because upon receiving my results, they were impressive. I went straight to my dad. He was at work. I said, Papa, I have passed. These are my results. I'm going. I did not ask. I told him I'm going to university.
Yeah.
And he could not deny me that opportunity. And there's one person that I must also mention just before I get to that. Niko Mabunda.
Yes, I know you.
Niko Mabunda. He remains a role model at that group, at that age group. I think we're about 6. He went knocking door to door to say, these young chaps have passed. You can't keep them at home. I don't care whether you have money or not. Make means.
Wow.
I will take them to Pretoria myself.
Wow.
I will use my own money. Up to this day, I owe him. I don't know how I'm going to repay him. He knocked at about 6 doors. He took us with his own money because he was already at the University of Pretoria. Yeah, he took us to the Technikons University around to register. We still owe him money. It's not enough to repay what he has done. But I registered at the Tshwane University of Technology. My first preference was journalism, but by the time I got there, because we did not apply, I did language practice. Then the second year, I switched to journalism. That's where I started my journalism. It was in 2002, TUT.
Your second year?
Yeah.
The first year, where did you start? Technical? Technical?
No, it was
technical.
It was technical. It was a Tshwane University. It was Technikon Pretoria at the time.
Yes.
Yeah, then I did language practice. I switched the following year to journalism.
Yeah.
And that was...
And the following year, it was 2002?
2002, that's where I started journalism. 2003, I went to TNG to do my second year. 2004, that's where I did my final year in Soshangube. I know you've got a history with Soshangube. We'll talk about it.
No, look, I can't hold it back. You see, you grew up, being energetic, full of energy. To be honest with you, I must tell the viewers today, you are where you are today, not by fluke, by a hard work. When we talk about people who are devoted to their work, we talk is one of them. I remember vividly, believe me you. You see, while we were doing journalism, and I was of the impression by then, because I was in TUT, if you remember, I thought you were at the technical. You see, the one just next to
main campus.
No, the one next to TUT, down there close to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You know that one?
Yes.
You know what this guy used to do? We used to play soccer. He knows that. So we've got teams according to the campuses. We had the Mafias, the CCT campus, the Telcom, the main campus. You impressed me actually. That's why to me, I'm not shocked when I see you rocketing the sky high in terms of your career. This guy, he used to run around the soccer field while we're playing soccer with his camera, going down on his tummy, trying to snap the pictures. And by then, I didn't have much, knowledge when it comes to journalism and so on. I used to ask myself, this one boy, what is it that he's trying to do, man? That's what I'm saying, that you were full of energy. You were passionate. So a lot of people, how I saw is they could learn, more especially the people you grew up with or who are coming behind you. Because really, you led by example. And here we're talking as, today you are what? You are a spokesperson to the Department of Basic Education. You understand what I mean? So it takes a lot of an effort. One has to be devoted into what you are doing, or whatever you're doing, so that you could be able to accomplish or prevail.
You are correct. It's not even a comfort zone. Being a spokesperson, it's a mammoth task. What you need to know, like you talk of Department of Education in Limpopo, we're looking at overseeing plus minus 4,000 schools.
Correct.
Each and every school has got its own issues. And when they look at the website, or because they hear you on radio, they see you on TV, everything must come via you. Whatever they need to report, if there's a school that is closed, if learners who fought, you must have that knowledge, because we now have community media. They pick up those stories. When they come to you, they need comments. I don't switch off my phone. The only time where I'm not available is between 5 and 6 in the morning, because that's where I run. But the camera issue, I thought maybe you've forgotten about it. When we started journalism, we're expected to have a camera. And when how I acquired that camera, I'm still bleeding. I had a phone when I was in varsity, and at class they wanted a camera. I couldn't even bother my father. I know it.
Yes, yeah.
I had to trade that phone.
Wow.
For a camera.
So I could be able to access the camera.
Yeah, because from time to time they will say, bring the work that you have. Go to when you are in the village, bring us unique pictures. You were supposed to bring a picture, because I was from a village, a picture of chicken on the tree, people who were busy cleaning or harvesting or worms. Those were the pictures that were giving you good points.
But then, sorry to cut you there. How it came about for you becoming or venturing into journalism? What motivated you?
Yeah.
Who encouraged you? Who were you looking up to become a journalist?
There are two sides to this. Initially, when I started, I wanted to do print journalism because of the newspaper issue.
Yes,
because my father used to bring newspapers at home. It was fascinating. We're reading soccer stories. Your politics.
You were envying him anyway.
Your politics and hard news. They came last because we wanted to know what Chiefs is up to, Pirates is up to. Then I wanted to be a print journalist, but as I grew older, I became attached to that radio of his. When he was not around, I could listen to the radio. then
so you could snatch his radio and then.
But then remember back at the time, the only radio station that we could listen to was MLFM.
Yes, correct.
And there was a time where they brought a crop of young people. Your Fanuel Magaisa, DJ Brian, Ike Oswell, Bila, and them. I became so interested. I envied DJ Brian. I envied DJ Brian.
Yeah.
When I got to TUT, journalism class, there were pictures on the wall, and DJ Brian was there.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. So this guy studied in the same class. If he's up there now, being a radio presenter, it means I can do it.
So that actually it is answering my question, because that was my next question, as to the time you started working at SABC Radio, that how it came about, how was easy, how did you get to SABC Radio Mungalone, and that's basically what I wanted to ask you. So you can answer it for you.
It was a long drive. After seeing Brian's pictures
in the room.
Then because I used to listen to his shows, I told him he's aware about this.
Okay.
I wrote on his.
It's not a secret.
Yeah. So on his show, I think it was they used to interact with students from different universities. Then there was an email that he was dishing out at the end of the program. Then I took that email. I sent him an email while I was still a student, and I said to him, DJ, I'm doing my first year. I envy you. I want to be like you. He responded, knowing Brian.
You sent him email, right?
I sent him an email.
Wow, yeah.
Then he responded and said, it's true, I was there. just work hard. You'll get to this level.
It was
Then,
precious,
then when I was at TUT, there's a campus radio. It was TNG FM at the time.
Yes,
I started there as a newsreader, and I was given an opportunity to host then after afternoon show, current affairs show. It was a current affairs show between 12 and 1. That was towards my final year. Then when I completed in December, we had to remain at the varsity to keep the radio going. Then I said, but I'm done. But they gave us stipend. 1.5, it was a lot of money at the time.
Of course.
So I said, no,
back then it was a lot of money.
I said, I'm not going home. Then I said, but let me try. I went to SABC's website.
Okay.
I went to SAFM. No, there's a news editor here. I'll tell you a story that you will not believe. It was on a Wednesday, I remember vividly.
Okay.
I wrote to that guy, I said, my name is this. I'm doing current affairs show, I'm a news reader in this station. I'm looking for
So you never shied away actually from approaching, these big oaks and to make sure that, you achieve what you want.
Yeah, I said, I'm looking for an internship. It was on a Wednesday. He responded on Friday. Guess what the response was?
What was the response?
The response was, come on Monday to sign a contract.
Wow.
Not even an interview.
Not in an interview, but signing a contract.
Hey.
They haven't seen you yet.
They have not seen me. They only saw what I wrote there, and I attached a very, you know how our CVs were there? They were very plain. He said, come on Monday, you must look for me. He gave me an indication of where I needed to go. On Monday, I arrived. He said, no, sweet and good, let's go. They took me to some place, it was underground. I had my photos and everything taken to have an access card. I signed a contract. They said, you are starting an internship here at SAFM today. What will I be doing? The late Vuyombuli said, you will be producing the Vuyombuli show. Yeah, so that's where I started. Then I did the Vuyombuli show. In the middle of it, then I had applied for another internship in Pretoria. I did not like Joburg. I don't want to lie. A neighbor gave me a place to crash. It was December. I went home. I remained there, but I did not like it because I even had to take 2 taxis from Soweto to Auckland Park. Then I was called for an interview in the Department of Housing, National. Then they took me. I left. I did not finish that internship. I left. I did government internship. And the good thing about that internship, I couldn't finish it. Before it could end, the director called me and said, you see,
called you in your office. Say, come. I want to see you.
I don't want to lose you. I think you've got potential.
Yes.
So I've got a contract for you.
Wow.
When you finish here, you are jumping straight into a contract after the internship.
Hey.
Yeah.
That was a work of God, eh?
Yeah. Then internship ended. I took that contract. In the middle of the contract, SABC advertised.
Okay.
They wanted to start the current affairs show. The current affairs show that they have now, so it was supposed to be Tukwa Shetley.
Yes.
I did not know anyone. There was no favors, nothing.
Not even contacting Brian, for him to facilitate it for you and stuff. Nothing.
I said, I don't know anyone. Let me try my luck. I tried my luck.
Yeah.
They called me. I remember it was around 12 o'clock, and we were driving to Hammanskraal for some housing project. Said, you've got an interview tomorrow in the morning. Are you around? And I hesitated for 2 seconds. I said, yes, I'm around the province. I was not.
And you knew that you already were heading to Hammanskraal.
They will come with stories. Then I called my boss. Said, I've been invited to an interview in Polokwane. And we are on. I said, tell the driver to tell. Yeah, so that you can.
Wow.
Yeah, went back.
Then your boss just said,
yeah, we had a very good.
Then go back.
We had a very good relationship.
Yeah.
I remember when I arrived here in Polokwane, it was around past 8 in the evening. A friend was waiting for me at the taxi rank. There were no cars. Took a last taxi to Seshiro. Slept in Seshiro. Came for an interview. I left Polokwane around 5 in the afternoon. Driving. I took a last taxi to Pretoria. Yeah. Within a week, they called. They said, "You were successful.
Wow.
Are you ready to start?"
Wow.
Boss, he said, "I can release you. Got 2 options. I can release you today. You can give a notice." I said, because I am also here. I've got flats and stuff. Let me just issue a notice." Then there was a notice. That's where I ended up.
That's where you got yourself at Munganolole.
At Munganolole and current affairs to Kwashekle.
But Mike, a very touchy story you have alluded to now. The story of Njikumamona. It's really a kind-hearted man. And there is no amount of money which you could be able to pay him to say thank you. But yourself to be proclaiming it on this podcast now, which it will be viewed countrywide, worldwide. I think that really it's sufficient enough to send a message to him,
To say thank you.
to show that really you are being thankful of that. Even myself, I'm tired about that, and I'm not surprised. It's the reason he is where he is today.
Exactly.
Because you see, a lot of people, they are full of rapacity, and it is the reason they don't prevail in whatever they do. I mean, come on. After all, Nico Mabunda is just your neighbor. We are not related. There are no relationship attachment. You understand what I mean? But he went all out. He made an effort. That is very touchy. And I will boldly say, let God shower him with more blessings. By the way, he's in the pipeline. He's in the pipeline. He's the one. Is coming next. I'm still going to talk to him about that. I've already got his number. So, yeah, I'm grateful of the work which he has done for you. That's excellent. I know that it doesn't stop there. There was some other project.
Yeah, no, he has done a lot.
Yeah.
He's got a very big heart. He gives to the community. Someone is leading a community development project that
Yes.
we have started.
I overheard at some point that they are giving, they've got food parcels and
Food
stuff like that,
parcels,
giving
yeah.
away. And that's excellent. And it's in the social work industry, right?
He is, and he's doing very great.
Good,
I
yeah.
think it's because of
He's good at.
and I like it because it was not only for me. He looked at the crop at the time to say, the class of 2000, you did well. I'm seeing good results. I'm going to talk to your parents. They might not see the importance of education, but because I'm there already, I'm in Pretoria, I'm visitor of Pretoria. I see people of your age, they are there already. The only way to change your situation, your family background, you must go to school. You must go to university like I'm doing. I'm not there yet, but if you follow this route, you will eventually be something.
There is no enough ways to thank him. Now, you are at SABC, working for SABC right now, which is quite fascinating. Automatically, you become a celebrity. You are at the exposure where everybody knows about Mike Maringa now. So what actually pushed you out? I assume it's a greener pasture, because you didn't last long. You from there you went to TV, SABC TV, TV play, what do you call news reporter, right? So what pushed you out from SABC radio now you shifted to TV?
You see, you must always use an opportunity when it arises. I was there, and SABC started a Xitsonga news bulletin.
Yes.
Yeah, so the people who were there got opportunities. They moved to Johannesburg, and there's one senior guy there by the name of Robert Ngobeni. Robert Ngobeni was a TV news reporter because at the time he wanted Xitsonga English, Sepedi English, Tshivenda English. So he was the only one. He left. And then there was a space. He said, let me grab this opportunity. I think I can do it. I went to that.
And indeed, you did it well.
Yeah, I went to that interview. When it comes to experience on the list, I was number last.
Yeah.
I was competing with people who were in that space already.
Yeah,
Some were living outside the province in Johannesburg, wanted to come back home.
So wherever you go, you can't like going with grace.
Yeah, no, I went there. And I couldn't believe it when HR called me to say, remember the interviews you did 2 weeks back, and you were successful. Come and sign the contract. And also at the time the money was good. It was double what
lucrative.
it was double what I was getting from the radio side, but it was challenging.
Basically, actually, that's another thing I want to touch bases on. Being a journalist. We're talking about a news reporter on a TV. I know that seemingly there are a lot of challenges there, because you have to enter. Most of the time you find that those places you are entering, those spaces are kind of like risky. People are marching. People are burning tires. People are doing this and that. where crime is involved, you have to go in there because definitely you have to go out there and get the news for us. Then how did you manage to handle those kind of challenges?
You see, if you are not brave, you will not survive in that industry. You duck and dive. Sometimes you'll come back to base without a mirror. I've been to a volatile place where we came back literally without a window in the car. So this is what you do. I'll just give you one example. The other day we had to go to Schoko. There was a volatile situation.
Yeah.
It was bad. The roads were closed. Even police had to be on the other side redirecting traffic to say you must go via Sukmekar and stuff. Then I had a guy who was new, a camera guy, said, we are going there.
Yeah.
We drove, we passed. Police said it's dangerous. I said, I'm a journalist, I'm prepared to die.
Yeah.
As we were descending.
And the law, it protects you anyway, but people, when they're angry, they're angry.
Yeah, as we were descending, I saw a very huge crowd. I told the camera guard, I said, these people are angry. And reports are that they are very violent. But I'm going.
Yeah.
You stop here, roll your camera. If I die, it will be on the camera.
Wow, yes,
If I survive,
I survived.
I went there, facing a very huge community by myself. They are surprised. Who's this brave young man who's coming our direction?
Yeah.
I went. So you see, if you're driving a white car, you are presumed to be a police. We're using white parties. I went 200 meters from the crowd. What you do, you pull up your shirt.
Okay.
I'm not armed.
So that you could see that you're not imposing danger to them.
Yeah, I'm not armed. You pull up your shirt. Okay. I don't have a weapon. I don't have anything.
Okay.
Then they become comfortable. You
Okay.
go. So
Okay.
some will recognize us that I'm Mike from SABC. I hear you've got problems.
Yeah.
I've got the medium to transmit your problem.
But I understand there was this incident. You were in Venda, I assume. Vuani. What happened there? I think you were deprived the cameras, or I think your car was smashed, something like that. What happened there? That was very serious, eh?
It was in May, President, when they were still refusing to be incorporated with Maringa.
Yes.
Yeah. So we were there. President Zuma was supposed to address them, but because the security risk was high, he was advised to leave.
Okay. Well, the president was advised to leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
Immediately after I had left, they became very violent. They smashed windows and everything.
Yeah.
We did not have a mirror. Coming back, we came back in a car that did not have mirrors. Broken windows and everything. Everything was shattered. And you must drive. You go to the nearest police station. Yeah. Report the car. Drive back to Polokwane, doing the speed we were doing. We were so exposed. It was wind and everything. But because you are a journalist, it comes with the package.
And I assume those are some of the reasons you eventually decided to leave journalism. And now I understand you went to become a spokesperson to the Department of Transport in Limpopo. How did it come about, that one?
You know, I don't think there's an interesting job ever than being a journalist. It's fulfilling.
Okay.
Other than you handling a lot of secrets and yeah. Because you see, as a journalist, people trust you with their information.
Yes.
They want to come and report in Tsungu. They are his staff, his neighbors, enemies. They will say Tsungu is doing. We've got this file. They will even give you evidence.
Wow.
That's the information that you must die with. I left SABC. I left with those secrets. I locked them.
Conceal them.
I locked them in a container and I threw it away. I don't know about those secrets. But I did TV for 12 years. TV for 12 years. I did not have anything else to give. 12 years was the plan was to try to do it for 5 years and move. But I overstayed. 12 years was a long time.
Some say you're a legend.
12 years was a long time.
It is.
Then I said, let me look into the government and see how they do it. Let me get a new challenge. That's where I
decided to go to Department
of Transport. There was a new MEC. I made a request to come. Her knowing me from SABC, it was easier. She opened the doors. Then she said, "You'll be my MLO. You'll speak on behalf of the department."
But that one, I also feel that is challenging and petrifying at some point, because you basically, we talk about the Department of Transport here. whereby you have to be the first person actually to proclaim the news about the fatalities, whatever actually occurred in an accident and stuff like that. And 99%, you have to be physically there to see actually what is happening. But isn't that, it's uncomfortable and petrifying to see people, all over the bodies and stuff like that?
I'll tell you a very interesting story. You see, I'm not scared of bodies. If you were to put a body in one room and a casket in another room, I'll go to the body instead of the casket.
Then, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when we were young, the hearse will only come late in the evening, and you will only see a part of the coffin.
And we're not allowed
to be
to peep through, to be outside too.
So you only peep through the window. So I became scared of the coffin than the corpse, because we only started seeing bodies when we were older. So me moving from SABC to transport, it was easier, because I'll go to a scene, they say there are bodies, I don't worry about bodies. As long as there's no casket, there's no coffin here, it's fine. I'm okay. So it was easy. If they say there's a transport, there's an accident, anyone is closed, just get into the car, drive. They knew me already. We had stickers and everything. You identify yourself, you pass, go see how many bodies, check. No, it's 5 people. I'm not scared. It does not matter the condition of the body. I'm not scared. So I was there. I attended almost all the scenes, horrifying as they were, but I was there. It was a passion. I did not miss an accident in the province. Whether it's got fatalities, whether it's a road that is closed, we need to advise people to use alternative routes. But you must be prepared. The family must know. If you are married, the wife must know. She partly owns you, because an accident can happen at any time. And if it's huge, you must call your principal. MEC minister, it's a bus accident, we've got 25 fatalities. If it's that big, you don't even talk. Your principal must wake up.
Okay.
Yeah, we must go there. If it's big, then you elevate it to say this needs someone bigger than you.
What do you mean when it's big?
When it's big, we look at the numbers in terms of fatality.
Or you mean in terms of numbers?
Numbers of the people who have died.
The number of people who have died.
Yeah, anything. Yeah, because even on the N1, if you see if it's anything above 3, you will get the forensic guys. They will be coming from Pretoria. The road will be closed completely. It will take hours. Then it's huge. It must be communicated in a different form. If it's bigger than that, you even escalate it to the minister. You will see Minister Mbalula coming down to talk about that accident. It's no longer the MC.
But then I think, by the time of, accidents like that, it makes you closer to the situation where obviously you end up being, the spokesperson of the department. You end up having an opportunity to assess the situation. What might be the cause of this accident? So tell me then, because now you are just talking about informing the minister just to come to the place and all that. Then are you in the position to advise the minister after you have done your assessment of the accident? Say for instance you could see that, but there, I think on that sharp curve, there are no proper signage which alerts the road users. Are you having enough power or the rights to sit with the minister, show him where the problem is, and advise as to what could be done?
Yeah, no, at my level, at the provincial level, I can only talk to the MEC, but we can advise to say, MEC, that road is dangerous. There we need speed humps. There you need rumble strips.
I see.
We need signages there, because people cannot see from the distance. That is the sharp curve. You do that, then at the level she'll escalate it. If it's provincial, public works will kick in. If it's a national road, then we escalate it to Sanral to say, Sanral, there's something wrong on the N1. We need to widen the road. You need to add signs. People don't know where they are going. You can. So at that level, you've got what we call your min-max, where MECs meet with the minister. Yeah, there are various ways as to how you can do it. You don't have to wait for formal meetings, but the MEC it's
The closest person whom you liaise with and try to advise.
Then you'll have senior managers within the department who are responsible. They will quickly facilitate it and stuff.
So now tell us, like I've already said it from the onset, guys. Hey, yeah, you are now the spokesperson to the Department of Basic Education. Take us through.
Yeah, no, it happened this year in July. The very same MEC that I was working with at the Department of Transport was moved to education.
Okay.
So
you couldn't,
so
couldn't let you go.
Yeah, so she has become a mother, a mentor. We are comfortable working together. Then if she moves, she says, let's go. Then it's a new challenge. It's a bigger department. The only difference between transport and education is that with education you can sleep. Teachers work from Monday to Friday. Weekends are a little bit relaxed. If I was still in transport, chances are that in the middle of this podcast I will be told, hey, there's a very big accident in Musina. It's huge. You can't. I'll have to say, apology, Nsungu. I need to rush. There's a big accident. But this one, on weekends, you are relaxed. But it's huge in terms of the amount of work that you need to do. So.
No, but I also think, I support, the idea of hooking you in. Because, for the sake of, continuity of a good job, when you start with new stuff, new person, it becomes like a process. One has to adjust to the new environment and stuff like that. But in this case, you come in with her from Department of Transport. Now you are together there. So it's kind of like, you are just, carrying on.
No,
you know each other very well.
Yeah, no, it's true. Because one thing that you must also notice that in the part of the package is speech writing. The speeches that the MECs and the ministers are doing, they are crafted by us. So you get used to the kind of writing that I do. It's easier now. I know what she wants on the speech. If I give her 5 pages, even if she's to make changes, it won't be that much. We understand how we're supposed to work. So even with the scheduling of interviews, if you want the MEC to be on Nell's podcast, what is it that you must say, which when is he available, which medium to prioritize such things. You build a relationship, a rapport with your boss.
Very interesting. While now we're talking about the Department of Basic Education, viewers, make no mistake, he's not here in his capacity as a spokesperson of Department of Basic Education. But come on, how could we let him off the hook? Certainly, us as in Nsobo Learning Academy, our main primary responsibility as we are dealing with trainings, we specialize in sign language, right? And our main primary responsibility is to make sure that we empower the normally hearing people, all South African stakeholders, so that they could be able to communicate, engage, and socialize with deaf people. After we have done, a research, and we noticed that deaf people, they're kind of like segregated, as if they're not part of our society. And we once had a meeting with your Dr. Simelano from Basic Education there in Pretoria. Way back in, I think it was 2015, if not 14. What we were proposing there as a Nsobo Learning Academy, it was that we would love to join hands with basic education to see to it that sign language, it is done, it is studied at all different schools levels, because we realize that we are treating deaf people as if they are not part of our society. And now I would like to hear from you, not as a spokesperson of Department of Education, but as a citizen. I strongly believe that you see what is happening. At some point, being, you know, a big person like yourself, going all over the country and stuff like that, certainly you might have bumped several times or up to 10 times with deaf people. What is your take? What is your view when it comes to deaf people?
Before I give you my view, let me also indicate that from my very own family, I had a brother who was deaf.
I think I remember, yes.
And unfortunately he's late.
Oh, he's late. No, I was not.
He's late.
Yeah.
But you are right. Deaf people are neglected. In that, I had an opportunity. I had a brother that I stayed with in the same family.
Same family.
But I can't
communicate with him.
I took it for granted that whatever I was saying at the time made sense. But as I grew older, I sometimes I do check those signs, and it's only now that I realize that I was not making sense, but he could understand what I wanted to say. So the general view is that you are indeed correct. If I'm from a family that has got a deaf person and I don't understand, what about a person from next door? What about a person who has never seen a deaf person? It becomes a challenge. I think I agree with you. Deaf people need a special attention. They need a special attention. We need to know about that language. Maybe at some point, like any other language, it must be compulsory.
100%, yeah.
It may be just like any other language. It must be compulsory because it's good when you, the Department of Basic Education now, it's also responsible for early development center, your creches and stuff.
Yes.
So if you were to take that and implement it at the basic level, to say as they grow, as they start at the grassroots level, teach them basic
early development.
Yeah, give them basics of sign language.
You see, you remind me of one of our proposals. It was exactly that. With the Department of Basic Education, that we could take the responsibility of, you know, deploying our facilitators. As long as we are in this, you know, together, in partnership, working together. Our plan was that we deploy, you know, our facilitator, right, who will interpret. Interpreting what? What a normal teacher is teaching from the classroom level.
Exactly.
Meaning that we were going to break the barrier whereby we say this class, you know, it contains only deaf people. This one for normal hearing people. We're going to mix them up. And at the very same time, both of them, they were going to benefit. But then, I think at least, you know, Department of Basic Education, you are doing something, you are coming to, you know, to the party. Because I remember in 2018, the department had given, you know, school for the deaf in Pretoria, the spring program, right? The spring program to plan. And immediately after that, the very same 2018, the team which deals with curriculum for basic education, they designed and signed for a plan, right, as to how, you know, the subjects has to be taught, and that has been signed. Only it is in the curriculum. There are 3 subjects which are studied from schools, you know, from deaf, from their respective schools as deaf people. We're talking about English, maths literacy, and sign language as their home language.
Okay.
That is being studied at their respective schools. So that's what I'm saying. At least the Department of Education, they are doing something. But then, other than that, in when was that? I think in when was that? 1998. That is where I remember the census South Africa.
Yeah.
They proclaimed that we have got plus or minus 4 million of deaf people
in the country.
Yes.
Okay.
And also they went to say we have got about 500 to 600 deaf people who could communicate in sign language, official sign language.
Okay.
But then you can just imagine, you will understand where I'm driving my point to. They also declared that we've got 20% of hearing people, hard of hearing people who lost their aid.
Okay.
And amazingly, listen to this. I think this is something which certainly you have to look at as a Department of Basic Education. It's fundamental. We've got 80%. That is on record.
Okay.
By State South Africa.
Okay.
We've got 80% of teachers who are clueless, who doesn't understand, who can't even communicate in sign language. So
no, I think it could be because they were never exposed to sign language. It has got to do with your trainings. If you are able to train police officers to deal with clients who come to the police station to report cases, the same can be extended to any other department. I think it's a matter of taking it to the highest offices to say we are doing it with police. When deaf people come to give statements, he's able to relate. Why can't teachers also do the same? But I think personally, to get it right is also to start at the grassroots level, get our learners to understand basic things. First year, in the first year, they must just be able to introduce themselves in sign language, to say my name is whoever, I love you, and all. You do that gradually, so that even when they get to grade 1 and stuff, you take them. All they need to know is basics. Those who've got passion will take it up, because now I went to varsity, I was taught French.
You taught French. Yeah.
I know how to greet in French. I know how to say where I come from. Taught us songs. I know the basics. If I were to be in Paris today and someone says bonjour, I know I must say bonjour, comment ça va, then how are you, ça va bien, merci.
No, it's easy to learn anything in life. It all require your interest and the amount of level you are having in terms of being devoted of learning that. Once you are devoted, there is nothing impossible. You're quite correct that it has to start from grassroots level. In our early childhood development, it's quite easy for them to learn these things. And I think we are running out of time. I would like to have your parting shot. Just give us your parting shot overall.
Yeah, no. Let me just be thankful of the opportunity that you gave me. It's much easier when you are talking to someone that you know, a brother. By the way, viewers must know you are one of those brothers who was always neat. I don't know how you managed to do it at the time. We did not even have a tar road, but you were one of those who were always neat, spot on. Yes. It was during the time you had the SKL and stuff.
You remember that?
Hair shining and always tapped in, and you used to So right, I'm also glad. I know you are also doing well. I know about your company. When people start talking about the deaf community, the first person that comes to mind, it's not a deaf person. It's you. I know there's a brother who's passionate about the deaf community. And I'm also now in an education space where we've got special schools. You know, when I get to Situtulwani or even wherever, the first person that comes, it's not a school principal or a learner. I think of Branel to say these are the people that Branel is passionate about, and I believe that at this level, it's not even about money. It's about their development, their passion.
Absolutely. Seeing these people, being treated equally and fairly so.
Yeah. So I believe this podcast will also give a lot of guys an opportunity to come and relay their stories, their upbringing, like I've done, and hopefully it will grow from strength to strength.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for gracing this podcast. Viewers at home, you have heard it from the legend. I'm pleading with you, South Africans. It's about time you come and absorb the sign language skill within Nsobo Learning Academy. You can see, here are the details. This podcast is actually powered by Nsobo Learning Academy.
Also, it is powered by Migingo General Services. So, whoever actually wants to grow his business, you are welcome to come and advise on our podcast. Thank you. Aha.